has to come back to Earth. I love Earth. I love this life. I really don't want to leave it. Mary Kilser, my neighbor to the north, will probably be the first to know. And I want it very clear that I'm not to go to the hospital, and I want it very clear that I'm not to have resuscitation. And then you should come as quickly as you can.
Take all of the DVD recorders, and then you would take all of the desk boards and put them into your van. And then you'd take the 6 filing cabinet, and then you'd take the 4 folding chairs, and you would take them, come around and take the bed, and then take the rugs, the 2 desk boards, the 6 filing cabinets, the 4 chairs, the 22 VHS DVDs, and then you would put the bed way in the back at the stern of the museum, and then you would lay down the rugs. This is the funeral when I go to heaven. Bye.
And the people bowed and prayed to the neon gods they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, amongst the sound of silence.
So true. I just handed them. Right there, Mr. Chef, over there by the pot.
Oh yes, right here. We're all gonna have some delicious food and beverages, and we're gonna have a great time.
And everybody's invited to speak, right?
Everybody is invited to tell you to speak.
Except you.
And
No, I can't speak. No.
we'd like to limit it, to, if we could, to
40.
10 to 12 minutes per speaker.
Oh, you're gonna die right there on the
You
spot.
don't want to be the late Glendora, huh?
Hi, Glendora. It's Barbara Goldberg, and I was very happy to hear from you. But I was kind of upset by what you invited me to,
My
which
funeral.
was your funeral.
My funeral, March 6th.
I'm hoping that's another joke, or I'm not sure what to think. But I hope you're well, and please give me a call back and allay my worries.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
When Franklin went to heaven on the night of October the 18th, 2003, at exactly 8:10 p.m., his soul made the flight. He had asked me before, of course, to call all of his people. And so I started calling his people. And for some reason, I started enumerating them. 1, 2, 3. And I have done that ever since. The count of the telephone numbers that I have dialed since October 18th, 2003 is 19,000. Here are the Monday calls. Here's the Saturday calls that I would have been doing today. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. And here are the TV stations. And here are calls that are way, can you read that, folks? Way ahead. I won't be doing those for a week or two. And then when those calls are all done, folks, I do the one-time only calls. And that's how I met Victoria. She was a one-time only call at one time. These are TV stations that carry Chat with Glendora. So we have to call them regularly and find out that they're not doing a thing, some of them. And these are the people that I've met here at church. local folks. Well, we're going to the women's club of the St. Luke's Lutheran Church. Very sweet people who try to do all kinds of kind things all over the world. So we're going to the women's dinner, and I invited, I think, about 10 or 12 women. And the only two who came were Victoria Carezzi and Sarah Schubert.
We'd like to welcome you to the third annual, or sort of annual, women's dinner.
This is coca. This is vegetarian turkey. And if they have meat, I'll have to have a substitute.
Which I'm sure there will be meat of some kind. Whoops. All right, how's that?
What? Oh, more.
More?
Yeah.
Can you see the name? Your mic is a
The men look nice. They're all dressed up.
Yes.
I love it. I love having the men wait on us. Hello.
Shall I toss?
When are you on Birch
When are you
UK?
on? Every night.
Every night.
At what time and what channel? Channel 7. No, Channel 8 for 2 hours, 7 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Do you wear your hat?
Oh, yeah.
She always has a hat on.
It's the hats that throw me off, I have to be honest. The hat threw you off? Throw me off. What's that mean, throw you off? Turn you off?
I'm not sure why you wear the hat all the time.
What's that?
I'm not sure why you wear a hat all the time.
My brains are cold and I have to keep them warm.
It is the way she That's a good answer.
It makes people look at my hat instead of my face. How's that?
No.
Garçon,
I don't think so.
could I see the head garçon, please, the head waiter? She keeps the Emmanuel Lutheran Church going.
Oh, does she?
Yes, she
I
does.
still haven't found your station on TV.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Do you have Time Warner or do you
Yes,
have?
I have Time Warner.
8:30 p.m. Monday night, Channel 23.
23.
Yeah, public access. 8:30 p.m.
8:30.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried at 8 o'clock.
Tell them about the Apple Festival.
Huh?
Tell them about the Apple Festival on September 27th.
Well, it's going to be held at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Stuyvesant Falls on Route 9, and the hours are from 9 to 3 on a Saturday morning. Is this going to be on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness! You made my day. Everybody's TV will be broke.
So there's 25, and now I've already made a mistake. There's another 25.
It'll be 26 and so on.
Well, you'll have to make it 25A, I think. Something like that.
Sure.
26, 27, 28. And see, all that's in here is just one DVD disc.
The one program I have to copy.
Yeah, this is the one show. And it's show number 5472-28.
Every single one of those goes out every month.
Do you like doing this kind of work?
I prefer it over doing the work that a lot of my friends do, working at Hannaford, Dunkin' Donuts or such, just standing behind the counter or pushing carts around, yeah.
Well, not only that, he's his own, he's an independent
work on my own
contractor.
time.
He's got his own business.
We've been experimenting for more than 2 months now, maybe, with the different cameras that Glendora's picked up, which advertise to go straight to YouTube, but don't necessarily do as they're advertised. But my suggestion was simply to take the one camera I have that I use, that I know works, because these produce odd files that don't work. These produce proprietary files just for the software. My suggestion was that Glendora does her filming with that, does her video with that. You know, everything she does day to day, she can put it right in her pocket. And when I come around the one time of the week for our weekly meeting, she just hands me the little SD card that's in the camera. She has more than one, so she can just put another one in it and just go about videoing as she likes. I take the card, go back, stick it in the computer, load in all the footage she's done, split them up in half hours, and those make dubs. Those go straight out to DVD, and then group them up again into hours and send those all off to YouTube.
Nice idea, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you. Who's going to do the titles? Now, Devin and I started out our relationship with the arrangement that Devin would do the titles. And he went away and he did them as a tryout, I think it was, and I was to pay him $100 a month to do the titles. But then, you know, I came to my senses. Devin can't write the titles. 100 Devins can't write the titles. The only one who can write the titles is Glendora. She's the author of the show. She's the only one who knows what she wants to say. How could Devin do it or anybody else do it? Public access is free speech. The video that I put out every month tells a story, a big story. But the titles are at least 25% more of that free speech. The titles tell a story. The titles say, sue judges when they break the law, and things like that.
I think anything that you would be doing with public access is done more so with the internet. And everyone can have their own public access. They can have their own website, they can have their own YouTube account, they can do their own thing. And it's a lot easier to do online, I think. Or maybe just easier to access even.
The problem there is that there's billions of sites on the YouTube, and you get lost maybe, whereas in public access you didn't. You know, there's just so many things to see, right, on the YouTube, that you just might get lost and nobody will ever find you. Let me ask you this, isn't it sad that there wasn't any legislation made that satellites had to do public access? Only cable TV stations have had to do it.
Why was cable made to do it originally?
Back in the late 1960s, people like George Stoney agitated to the municipalities that here are these cable companies stringing their lines along our public highways, their hours. Therefore, those cable companies should pay the municipalities a percentage of their revenue. And they agitated so successfully that they finally made this a reality, and Congress put out legislation.
Similarly to how there are cable providers that provide access to television, everyone's connection to the internet is provided by an internet provider. And what they've charged, and now won in court very recently, is that because we own and pay for this internet access, we have the right to filter or censor or change what on the internet gets to you faster.
The mountain, providing easy to challenging hikes. A great place for mountain biking.
And then if we find out that the response is down, the telephone calls are down, and when I go out in the public, fewer and fewer people say, I watched you on TV last night, or I've seen you on TV, if that goes down, then we possibly could stop the television distribution, and we could just rely on the internet. But I will not stop videotaping. I cannot let God's kaleidoscope go by without making a record of it. The moon that comes up, the rainstorms, sunrises and sunsets, what the cats do that's so funny, what the raccoon does. I can't stop videotaping that. This is the century that I'm in. These are the things that are happening in this century. A record has to be made, and I have to do my part. God's sunshine, God's creation, God's variety, God's beauty, God's colors, God's design, God's manufacturing, God's precision, God's perfection, God's love, the fun and laughter and joy of God. Now you see, you do that, I started it right there. If I keep that up, when I get to 10 after with this second hand, I've had a moment of ecstasy with God. And the more of those you have, the more successful, the more appreciated, the more fulfilled, and the more correct you will be. Now you see, that's why I have a second. I have one here because this is my writing desk. I have one clock there because that's my editing desk. I have one over here in the kitchen when I wash the dishes. I can have one of those moments of supreme happiness anytime I choose.
God has never been in a hurry. Jesus lived 30 long years on the earth before beginning his active public ministry. Was Jesus right on schedule? Was he fulfilling God's precise timetable? Yes. Few things worth attaining can be accomplished in a day. What matters is the slow, steadfast, obedient pursuit of the goals to which God calls you.
Glendora has a lot of advice for people aimed at the attainment of happiness and fulfillment of one's hopes and dreams. Her self-published how-to books include The Happy Book, Be Perfect, and This is the Answer to Everything. All books are self-distributed on Glendora's cable TV show. Glendora's love in physics was started in graduate school in the late 1960s. She wrote and published 3 subsequent volumes throughout the 1970s.
Physics is about force, and force is God, and force is love. If there's a force of love, there's also an equal and opposite force, which is evil. Sometimes I wondered if that isn't why there is evil, because you wouldn't have any upward progress unless you had evil. So force, and then the equal force, which is evil, pushes it up, and so then more love has to come along to get rid of that evil, and that pushes it up again. Somehow, do you think that could be progress? So that's how I went into graduate school, into physics, in the university, to try to understand the universe. And that was the year that the 2 men walked on the moon. That's nothing to sneeze at, Dottie Come.
And when you were at school and you were studying with other people, were they studying similar things about God and physics?
Oh, no. Well, they all poo-pooed my idea that about the convergence of electromagnetic waves.
What were their reasons?
Well, they're of a different intellect. They're of a different orientation. They don't want metaphysics. They want physics. They don't want philosophy. They want to bang electrons and see what kind of a path they make. And of course their doing that led to the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb.
Teach me thy patience, one with thee, in dearer clothes or company, in faith that keeps work fleet and strong, and trust that triumphs over wrong. Did you get back your paper to me that you had read the die instructions? Did you get that paper back to me? If not, would you please? Okay, that's all. I've checked you off for many other things. And I told it all to you in the letter, honey. I could find you a joke, though. Do you know the difference between Xerox machine and the flu? The Xerox machine makes facsimiles, and the flu makes sick families. Okay, let me just keep checking the list here. No, you're all done, honey.
How are you today? This is Glendora, and we're out at Tops Friendly Markets. You know what you're going to like best about shopping at Tops? The people. Everybody is so helpful. You know, there's a manager and the checkout girls and then the stock boys, and those stock boys are pretty good looking too. And you know what else you're going to like about Tops Friendly Markets? The produce. produce. The produce is super fresh, folks. Just like that guy who took your daughter out last night. Remember, Tops is a supermarket with people where you don't have to talk to yourself. That's why
We've got extra specials because you're Tops.
We're buying for 40 people.